When you think about the things that hold us back, right, I can paint this amazing future of what is possible, and yet still people don't run in and embrace it and go, yes, I am on board. And I've thought a lot about why, like what holds us back. And the fact is that we always are built for safety. We're afraid of the unknown, right? We don't know how to navigate something again that we haven't been through before, mostly because we want to stay safe. What's so interesting about this idea of risk is that actually the way that we have kept ourselves safe in the past is now creating vulnerability in the future. When you start to imagine all the things we did, again, to reduce risk, which is build with hierarchy and assume that the person who has the most tenure is the person who's got the most experience is going to make all the really good decisions, instead of the person who might be on the front end who's sensing and responding in real time and has real data and real information at the moment that could keep us safe. And we discount that currently in their old way of thinking, right? Or we think about silos, that we keep everything contained and we keep everything separate, that we're going to be able to ensure that there's no spillage across any of that stuff. When reality is we actually need to integrate all that knowledge, and we need to integrate the processes and build things that are more holistic from here to here, so we don't create these externalities that we are so afraid of and that we can see the damage around. Or we think about that if we build incrementally, if we just do little steps here and there, we're going to ensure that we don't do anything that gets us like too far blown, or that doesn't in any way topple us. And the reality is a competitor can come in tomorrow with a really big disruptive change, and that all of those incremental things don't matter. We really have to think much more audaciously. So what if we rethought all that and said instead, right, if we imagine that instead of hierarchies, we've got more ecosystems of support and learning, and we share data across that, we share learning across that, we actually even build something with our competitor, which people often think is a crazy thing to imagine doing. But what if we actually go into cahoots with our competitors, as we saw again during the pandemic, as we saw pharmaceutical companies come together to accelerate and advance a really breakthrough vaccine, or we saw contact tracing apps, or we see building autonomous cars, where we see organizations like Honda and General Motors come together to build those kinds of things, because the problem is so big or the opportunity is so extraordinary that again, we mitigate risk by sharing it with each other as opposed to trying to hold it all on our own. Like, this to me is a big fundamental part of it, and that's how we actually, I think, hopefully can motivate people to go there, is to remind them that what they're doing to keep themselves safe is actually putting them in danger, and showing them that these new behaviors, this way of leadering, actually keeps you safer. It is the thing that actually provides the thing that you want most, which is around security and an environment in which you feel well held.